Okay, so today I'm going to teach you how to use the accessibility features on your computer to help students that may have different disabilities, or just to make things easier for yourself on your own computer. So what you're going to do is you're first going to come down to your Start tab, and you're going to come over to this gear, your settings, and open that up. Once that opens, you're going to scroll down to something that says accessibility or something of that nature. On my computer, it says ease of access. So I'm going to click on that. And then this is where all of your accessibility features are found. So right here, it's showing all of the display settings. So like one thing you can change on your computer is you can change the size of the text. So you can change that to 125%. So anyway, so that's something you can do there. I want to keep mine at 100%, but that's something that can help students that maybe have a hard time seeing, have a little, don't have as good of eyesight as other students. If you make it bigger, it might be easier for them. You can also change the brightness of your computer. Sometimes people's eyes are sensitive and they need less light. Other things you can do, you can turn off your animations, turn off your transparency in Windows. You can automatically hide scroll bars. You can turn that off, so if you see over here on the scroll bar, if I turn that back on, you don't see it unless you highlight over that. Just kind of something fun. Notifications, you can set how long you want to see them for. You can turn off the background image on your desktop. I like mine. I'm going to keep that on. You can personalize it, adding other backgrounds and other colors. That's all on display. If you go over to cursor and pointer size, you can thicken the size of your cursor. So when you're typing, if you see that right there, instead of just having like a little line that will blink in front of the letters, you can have it a little bigger. This is something that might be helpful especially for younger students that maybe have a hard time locating that on the screen. A little bit of a thicker cursor might help them. You can also change the pointer size. I can make my mouse bigger. So if you see that mouse is a lot bigger than this one. You can also change the pointer color to black. Or when it's on something black, it'll be white, or when it's on something white, it'll be black, which is kind of helpful. Again, for students that have a hard time seeing things, it can be helpful for them to be able to see it no matter what color it's on, especially maybe for students that are colorblind and have a hard time differentiating to begin with. So, touch feedback. This shows the visual feedback around the touch points where I touch. So I have a touch screen, so when I touch with my finger, I don't know if you can see right now. Anyway, it's not working right now, but usually when I touch, you can see where I touch on my screen with my finger and move things around. So you can turn that off. And your magnifier. So if you turn on your magnifier, it'll pop up this little screen, and it'll help you can zoom in and zoom out however much you want on different parts of the screen. Again, this is helpful for people that have a hard time, they maybe have bad eyesight and can't see very well. So if you turn that on, they'll be able to zoom in on things on small print that they can't see very well. You also have this option to make everything on the computer bigger. It comes back to display. It'll send you back to that. You can also change the zoom level on your computer automatically. You can change the zoom increments. It's automatically 100%, but you can change it to other things. Then if you did want to turn on your magnifier, these are all things that are just under that. It can start right up after sign in or before sign in. It can collapse into a floating window. invert the colors. Anyway, it can become whatever you need it to and whatever your students need to. Then you come over to color filters. If you turn on color filters, you can pick what kind of backgrounds you want your computer to show up in. So right now, since I turned that on, it's on grayscale. So everything on my computer will be in black and white. There will be no color. I can invert it so that everything that was white is now black and everything that is black is now white. I can also just invert it. So same type of thing, but this time it has color in there. So these were blue, if you remember. Now it's inverted it to like a more orange color. And I think this is really cool down here. It has filters for people who are colorblind, which a lot of students actually have that, and so this is really helpful for them. So if you, and so depending on what kind of colorblindness they have, this might be helpful to have like a red, green, or to change it to the different things that will be helpful for them. You can also, oh, I better change that back. I do not want color filters on my computer. You can also go to high contrast. If you turn on high contrast, it makes everything on, oh no. Okay. So it makes everything on your computer really, really bright. And this one's contrast is black. You can do white. We'll see, my computer doesn't seem to like this. So you can change it to however you want. It just makes it a lot crisper and clearer for you to be able to see. So it's helpful for people who have a hard time differentiating things, maybe are colorblind, or just have a hard time like remembering things. It'll help them say, oh, I remember this app was bright blue. And so they'll be able to get onto things like that. Wait a second while my computer turns that back off. Narrator. Let's come in here. There are lots and lots of different things. I'll just go through these pretty fast. So if you turn on the narrator, let's see if this will pop up.
Starting narrator.
So the narrator.
Settings window. Use narrator. On. Use narrator to read and interact with your device. Toggle switch.
So as you highlight over things with the narrator on, it will read to you what that is. So that's helpful for people that maybe can't see or have a hard time communicating or reading. It's helpful to have it read to them. So if you click on different things, it should.
Unchecked. Allow the shortcut key to start narrator checkbox. Checked.
So I'm going to
narrator.
Turn that back off. So you can choose when to start it up, how to sync it. You can change the speed and the pitch and the volume depending on what people like or if they are sensitive to sound. Happened really fast. So those are some of the narrator options. Audio options, you can change the device volume to help it make it easier to hear. Mono audio just combines different channels into one. Let's see, what else do we have here? So we have closed captions. It just helps, so when you are watching a video that has closed captions, it helps you change the settings on it. So the color, transparency, things that are going to make it easier to read along with that. You just use these drop-down menus to change it. Speech, you can use Cortana to get things done. That's that's this computer's version of Alexa. You can do things with your keyboard, turn on shortcuts if you want, and just turn on different keyboards that are helpful. Turn on the numeric keyboard to move the mouse. So you can use your keys, your arrow keys, to move your mouse around, which might be easier for someone who doesn't have a lot of use of their hand. It might be easier just to push buttons rather than to move the mouse around. So eye control beta, this uses eye tracking technology to control the mouse. So for people that don't have use of their limbs, they can use their eyes to look around and click on different things on this screen. I don't have the technology set up for that, but that's something that could be really helpful for students. I think it's really important to be able to see the accessibility controls that we have as teachers so that we can help our students learn to the best of their abilities with all the tools that they need.